talk about Philadelphia Eagles, Mike.
Yes.
At the beginning of the year, you would have gone through the schedule and you would have put an L next to going to Lambeau and playing the Packers for the Eagles.
Yep.
But they won. And let's just say Aaron Rodgers was not there for the Packers.
Oh, really? Parenthetically, the most valuable player in the sport was not available to the Packers.
Makes a big difference.
Yes.
What impressed you the most with the Eagles' win over the Packers, though?
Well, I think that was a game that, given the absence of Aaron Rodgers, running the ball and stopping the run was going to be the key, and the Eagles absolutely won that battle and did it mostly without Jason Peters, an offensive tackle who a lot of people think is not only their best offensive lineman, but the best player on the whole football team. Shady McCoy was very good. They got the ball with something like 9 minutes left and ran out the clock, which you don't see NFL teams do very often. The Packers have been okay defensively.
Yeah.
They have 340-pound tackles who are the kind of guys that maybe playing fast wears you down a little bit. Maybe that's the Chip Kelly thing that is supposed to happen. And the Eagles are, considering where they were 2 weeks ago and where they are now,
it's been a crazy season for that. Nick Foles throws for 7 touchdowns against the Raiders 2 weeks ago, then does this against the Packers, and he had some nice, impressive throws again. Is he this good? 16 TDs, no interceptions. He's got Peyton Manning numbers when it comes to this.
Well, I don't see how you can be as good as he's looked at his best and also be as bad as he's looked at his worst. that game that he played against Dallas was, honest to God, as bad as I've ever seen a starting quarterback play in the NFL. And people say, well, he doesn't throw it to the other team. He didn't throw it well enough in that game for it to be intercepted. Right. I mean, I can't comprehend how awful he was in that game.
Right.
So that's just a weird illustration of how erratic the Eagles have been. They've been better than everybody thought defensively, though.
Yes, they
and
have.
better suited to a 3-4, I think, than anybody imagined they would be this year. You are seeing that thing where the 3 occupy blockers and the linebackers make plays. You're seeing that with it. So that's a good thing. And they're in a horrible division. So they're in a pennant race. They have a chance.
5-5, tie for first place now. I mean, they can actually make the playoffs. I'm not sure if it's a good thing with drafting or not if they make the playoffs, but it's not bad the division is. Does Michael Vick play at all this year?
Well, I don't think he does, because I think you have to figure out what you think of because this decision, whether to stick with Nick Foles and say he's your guy going forward, or to draft a quarterback when there's probably going to be some really intriguing quarterbacks in this draft, is a career-defining decision for Chip Kelly. I mean, at least in terms of his tenure with the Eagles, this is huge. And I'm not sure what the answer is. It's a tough decision, but you've got to give yourself more evidence, I think, if you're Chip Kelly.
The stretch run for the Eagles should be very fascinating to watch.